The medal totals, gold medals, and more edition of this Olympic Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Let it slide. We've had a great first episode of the Olympic Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Adam Pelletier. Thank you for joining me again for another edition, and I hope you listened to the first one because I was talking all about how the curling overs were too low. That's right. We're on curling overs right now, folks. Get excited, get hyped. It is the lead up to the Olympics. The opening ceremony is Friday, still a day away, but curling has action going. Like we said, DraftKings has game lines. The totals are still too low, folks. All three draws coming up today. In 2022, only three teams averaged less than 12.5 points per game, and 48% of the games went over 13 points total. So if we're staring at these 12.5s and 111.5, we need to be just prepared to smash the over on those. All four games on the first draw today went over 13 already. It was an electric sweat, and it took Estonia hanging a 4 spot in the last end to force an extra end to push that over, smash that parlay, bet 1 unit, won 10 units. It was a great win. Little bit of why we want to be on these overs right now. Mixed doubles curling is different from normal fours curlings, and I'm going to be quick here because I could do an entire 20 minutes just about curling. So thinking about that, there's less blank ends. In 2022, there were only 2 blank ends in the entire round robin tournament. So 45 games, there's only 2 blank ends. So they're not hanging zeros. They're scoring once an end, which means the minimum score of a game is going to be 8 total. Okay, so now we just need to have 5 of those ends score 2, and we're at 13. So long as DraftKings is going to give us that 12.5 number, and anywhere else that's giving us lines, if they're under that 12.5 or lower, just stay on the overs, okay? Keep smashing them singles, and then parlay the whole thing together. Each draw, keep winning. When they start putting it at 13.5, we'll have to have more of a conversation, but for now, that's the cap. So lock those across the board. Team over on Kalshi, if you're looking at futures, Team Great Britain played a tough game today. Their price is slipping, so buy them now, buy them now over on Kalshi. You can get in on a great price. Team Italy also hasn't played yet, so their prices dropped to about 40 cents. Get in on that as well. So because Italy's going to start winning some games, and everybody's going to remember how good Italy is. So that's it. That's the last curling talk for now. Moving on to the men's downhill. Medal runs are Saturday at 5:30 a.m., so we're going to talk a little bit about that now. 2 training runs in the book, or 1 training run in the book. Ottermott was absolutely dominant. Okay, right now we want to be all over him for the gold right now on Kalshi, and wherever else you're betting. And we talked about that yesterday. He was just absolutely electric. He finished like 0.6 of a second behind the leader, but at every single split he was better. So if he's better from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain, I don't want to be anywhere betting against him because that's just going to happen. And then our lock, Dominic Paris to win a medal, that looks shaping up to be a great play right here because Paris had a spectacular first half on the mountain. Okay, he finished, I believe it was 6th on the day in the downhill training runs. So that's big. Love to see that. But he had a great first half. He had one of the best first half of the mountains on the day. So if he can figure that out in the second half of the mountain, I really like that. We may sprinkle a little bit on him to win gold. Yeah, Ottermott was 0.4 of a second behind the leader. So stay on Ottermott. Don't panic. If his price gets better, just lock that in. Men's luge. Weird thing happened on the hill today. We're still about a week away from singles medal runs, but weird thing that happened is both the Germans finished in the bottom third on their second training run today. Both Langerhahn and Locke both finished in the bottom third. I don't expect that to be the trend based on the fact that we see Germany dominate this event year in and year out. Really want to stay on those guys, lock them up. Langerhans has slipped to 34 cents on Kalshi. Lock that up now before he gets back on the hill over the next couple days as the training run continues. There's a lot of luge training runs, and then there's the qualification runs before we get into the actual runs to win it all. Speaking of luge, that's the men's. Now we're going to jump over to the women's. We didn't talk about that. They've got their first training run tomorrow. So we've got kind of an anomaly here. We're looking at these markets and we're seeing that two of the more accomplished women from qualifying for women's luge don't have their price reflecting that on Kalshi currently. Both Julia Taubitz out of Germany and Summer Britcher out of America both were very strong in the qualifying for women's luge this year. Turbich really only had one bad run in the entirety of qualifications. There was 5 qualification runs for women's luge, and she finished in the top 2 in 3 of them, was third in another, and then had a bad run in Park City, Utah. Britcher similarly won 2 and finished third in another, and then struggled in Italy and Germany for the trial runs at Winterberg and Cortina d'Ampezzo. Taubit's currently trading at 43 cents on Kalshi. You really want to be all over her. Again, Germany is the cheat code in the sliding sports. You want to be on them, and you want to be heavily invested in them. And Taubitz is also trying to prove that she can win at the big level. She's had a lot of success on the World Championship stage, winning gold in the singles in 2021 and 2025, and winning silver in 2019, 2020, 2023, and 2024, as well as being stellar in the World Cup in singles the last 4 years as well. So she's really looking to take that next step here. This feels like her year to really push for gold. She's currently trading at 43 cents on Kalshi. So long as that stays under 50 cents, you want to be all over that. Similarly, as we're looking at Summer Britcher, obviously hasn't had the highs that Taubitz has had, but still had a very good qualifying season this year. Took silver on the team relay and bronze in Sochi as well. So really like to see that. Be on her. She's currently trading at 13 cents, plus 1,800 if you're betting on it. So I really want to be on her to win a gold medal. And I'm watching her though. That's one I'm going to split. And if it gets a little tight, I'm going to sell some shares high on that if it gets over 30 cents probably, but I'm going to hold some for the long haul. Women's hockey, first face-off is tomorrow, and all I can say for this one is it's America versus Canada for the gold, and everybody else is just preseason and warm-up. America currently negative odds. Kalshi doesn't have pricing up on this yet. I imagine we'll get there a little closer to the time. They may not offer futures, given the fact that it's very clear the gold medal game is going to be America versus Canada, barring one of these teams having an epic meltdown. If you can see the odds come out anytime after these first games, watch America's price. America's been dominant against Canada in a lot of the international competitions recently, so I really like them to win. If you can get plus money, get all over it as soon as you can. Now, last up, total medal markets. We're trying to keep this tight and under 15 minutes each day. So we're rocking and rolling. This is going to get tighter. We're not going to talk about everything every day, but total medals, we want to talk about that. Obviously, Norway is just a complete hack for winning the total medals. Don't even bother betting on a country that's not Norway, because there are just so many cross-country skiing and biathlon events. There's just an astronomical event in Norway, just cleans up in those every year. There are 11 biathlon events and 12 cross-country skiing events. That's 22 medals right there. And Norway always does incredibly well there. Add in another 10 in alpine, downhill skiing, and there's not a lot left. Plus 15 in freestyle skiing. There's a lot of skiing events, and Norway does very well in those. So you don't really want to be betting against them on the total medals just because they have such a large ski team, and they do well. They're doing well in curling as well this year. They had some tough games right now, and they're looking good. They're currently an underdog on DraftKings going up against America. And I said I wouldn't talk about curling. I'll stop. So Norway's a hack. If that price slips more, right now it's over 70 cents on Kalshi. I really want to avoid that at this time. But where I really want to be is looking at most gold medals. Germany's currently at 11 cents. Okay. Since 2000, there's only been 2 years where Norway hasn't had the most gold medals. One was 2006 in Torino, and one was 2010 in Vancouver. 2010 Vancouver went to Canada. They get all the host entrances into that. 2006 Torino was Germany. So the last time the Winter Olympic Games were in Italy, Germany had the most gold medals. Currently trading at 11 cents on Kalshi. Smash. Get all over that. They're gonna do well in all the sliding sports. So there's 3 skeleton, 5 luge, and 4 bobsled. So that's 12 right there, right off the bat. If they start stealing some of the skiing ones, look out. They're going to be off to the races, and that price is going to jump. This is another one where sell some. Don't be afraid to sell some if it gets over 30 cents. 30 cents, anything that's trading in the teens, once we get to 30 cents, we want to get off of some of it. Hold some of it for the long term because you got your 2-to-1. So that's about it, but we're locking in Germany most gold medals day. That is our lock of the day, our parlay of the day. I lied. We're going to talk about curling one more time. Mixed double curling's over 12.5 in all games, except Estonia and Great Britain is over 11.5. Get all over that. Estonia is getting disrespected here in their abilities. They had a great 4 spot today. Get all over that. Enjoy the sweat. It's going to be an absolutely electric. No better way. If you're on the East Coast, waking up at 4 a.m., getting that first curling draw. If you're on the West Coast, stay up until 1 a.m. and get that late night curling draw sweat going. That's going to do it for us here on the Olympic Gambling Podcast. Don't forget, code SGPN over on Kalshi for a $20 bonus on your first deposit. And as always, let it slide.